Hi, I'm Angela Brancato. I'm one of the authors of the forthcoming book, Face the Sun. It's published by Tammy Lowe, and I was honored to not only be one of the writers, but one of the editors. And the other ladies have also made stories for this book, and they're all wonderful and inspiring. And I hope you'll enjoy it. It will be available on Amazon for purchase. And again, it's called Face the Sun. My story is called Joy in Act 3. And I'm here today to read an excerpt from my book, or from my story in the book, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. Now, mind you, this is like partway through the story, so it sounds a little depressing, but it ends up, I think, and I hope, inspiring by the end and happy. So this section of the story is called Act 3, Finding the Real Me. Thus began the depressing fall of 2015. Just as I had no playbook for living as a single mom in her 30s, facing life as an unmarried woman in my 50s left me reeling. I had never lived alone. It was disorienting. I believed I had made a better choice in my second marriage, yet I was just as emotionally wrecked after this split as I was the first time. I gradually began to see the pattern. I believed I was inadequate without a man, and that belief shaped every choice I made. The events that followed would slowly but permanently change my self-concept, identity, and beliefs. I had never truly survived on my own or established my independence. I accepted emotional mistreatment from my partners because I didn't recognize I deserved better. Over the years, I moved from therapist to therapist, trying to repair situations that were not mine to fix. I believed that if only my husband's changed, everything would be fine. I never worked on me. If the role I valued most was that of being a wife, then it made perfect sense that after my second divorce, I ended up in the same emotional place I'd been after the first. I did not like how I looked. My kids told me I was turning into an old lady. During my second marriage, I gained weight, stopped caring how I dressed, wore little to no makeup, and did the bare minimum to maintain my hair. This wasn't typical for me, but it became normal. Living in a miserable marriage drained me in every possible way, and it showed. Once on my own, I made it my job to crawl out of that ugly place. I remember sobbing at the dining room table in the small condo I'd escaped to. I cried for the years I'd lost and the time I'd wasted hoping my husbands would change. I wept over marrying the wrong man for the second time and the fear of what came next. Would I stay in Chicago and die alone, or quit my job and return to my family in Los Angeles, a place which had never felt like home? I finally stopped crying. The pity party had to end. I asked myself one question: what tiny action can I take to move forward? I put my bills on auto pay for the first time. It was a small step that provided immediate relief, one less thing to manage. As I did after my first divorce, I embraced gratitude. No matter how I felt, each morning I identified what I was thankful for. It gave me perspective and lifted my spirits. With the passage of time, my list of gratitudes expanded. Like everything else in my life at the time, the place I'd moved to was temporary. Ironically, my first ex-husband and his wife, now good friends and great co-parents, offered me their vacant condo at a reduced rent until I could find my own place. I'd left my former home in a hurry, desperate to leave behind the awfulness. I arrived with paper bags stuffed with as much as I could carry and dumped everything onto the floor. Within a day or so, I hung up my clothes and put away my things. I'd never lived in a messy home and did not intend to start. I bought a few groceries. I found comfort in these small, ordinary acts. They steadied me and encouraged me to do more. I realized I could do nothing to alter the past, but I could work on myself. I became laser focused on self-improvement. I began eating better. I started exercising. I bought pretty undergarments from Victoria's Secret, something I'd never done before. It pleased me to treat myself. It felt like progress in my emotional recovery. With the assistance of a saleswoman, I tried on a lacy bra. It looked good in the dressing room, so I bought it and wore it to work the next day. The bra turned out to be so ill-fitting that my skin was rubbed raw by the time I got home. I returned it to the store. I smile when I think of this little misadventure. I liked trying new things. There would be hits and misses, and that was okay. Again, the title of the book is Face the Sun, and you can find it on Amazon.